This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so thanks for waiting, everybody. And yes, can you all just confirm me? You all can hear me clearly, please? Can you all hear me clearly, please? All right, thank you. So, yeah, thank you, please. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah. So, yesterday I was explaining you all about what are the key fields which makes an identity of inquiry, and I was explaining the purpose, and I was telling you how to follow also, and I was guiding you the tip with what pattern you need to learn, on what pattern you need to learn for a better understanding point of view. Now today you all will understand the key fields which makes identity of quotation. See, there is a slight difference. Inquiry is the first pre-sale document. Quotation is the second pre-sale document which has some other added features compared to inquiry. Inquiry is just a prospect. Quotation is almost half the way confirmed prospect. That's the difference. So what fields makes the difference between inquiry as a document, quotation as a document, you need to understand first, followed by how it affects in front of during the in front during the transaction process also you need to understand, and what options which was not applicable for inquiry which can be applicable now for quotation as mandatory as optional, you need to understand. So let me go back to the IMG screen, just a minute. Let me log in back. So here IMG sales and distribution, sales documents, header, sales document type, click on position, find ZAR, enter. That is Zara. So it may get hang up multiple times. Be very patiently, please. And if it is processing for a long time, simply log out and log in again. So let me log out and log in again. Because this layout supports with huge backup tables extraction. So if any one of the table is not responding or not extracting, it will take some time. So refresh rate is very important. So even during the live servers, you will face such, but there the dedicated administrator will be there who will be constantly refreshing the tables in the backend, so you may not face such inconvenience. But here the refresh also happens, but on a regular interval base randomly as how the admin is fix up the time. All right. So ZAR done. So nothing I've done. I just logged on a login. So my user login credentials got refreshed. So I could connect and operate the application. That's the simple logic. Okay, there is no technicality behind this. Fine. So I was inquiring about what fields makes identity of inquiry. Fine. Now quotation. So first of all, quotation is like a legal bound document which is valid for a certain time. A quotation is like a legal bound document which is valid for a certain time, right? So here, quotation is a next level document which will help you to understand the business process. Okay. Okay. So quotation is like a legal bound document which is valid. Done. So here category is changing, and for inquiry it was A, now for quotation it is B, right? So depending upon the sales document category, the sales document preference will change. So understand this logic here. As it is quotation, it is B. So sales document category tells you what is the document you are coming up with. Sales document category, screen sequence group, transaction group. These are the first three fields which tells you about the purpose of the document, process of the document, preferences of the document. Other fields are just features, may be applicable, may not be applicable, but until you organize these three fields, system will not understand what is the document you are making. So sales document category brief the document identification. All right. And numbering is yes, internal and external as usual, mandatory, and in item number increment, yes, for serial number starts with 10, followed by second, third will go with. If you give 1 here, it will become 11, 12, 13. If you maintain nil, if you maintain nil, it will give 20, 30, 40, like how I explained other day. So for time being, sub-item increment, I'll leave nil. For few documents, I'll mark 1, how it reacts and responds, you'll understand. And sales document block, it's an optional field as I was explaining. If you want a document, if you want this field not to be as default, so do not touch it. If you mark a block over here, nobody can use this document in the front end. So if you put a block in the front end, no end user can use it. If you unblock it, everybody can use it. So it's an option field. And here, reference mandatory we have. Reference mandatory we have, it's an optional field for quotation. It was not applicable for inquiry, but here it is optional. Why? I'll tell you. Now, if I give here with reference to inquiry, the means quotation can be created with reference to inquiry only. Directly, you cannot create a quotation. It's an optional. See, why always a quotation should come with reference to inquiry? Not preferred, right? Always it is not must. Somebody should create a somebody is coming up with for quotation means it should be with reference to inquiry only. It is not, right? It can be directly also. So both the way system should support. System should allow me to create a system should allow me to create a quotation Directly, system should allow me to create a quotation with reference to inquiry also. I mark here nil. That means it allows to create a quotation directly or with reference to inquiry. Both will be permissible. So we'll leave it blank so that you understand. In the front end, you can use it with reference to inquiry, or directly also you can create a quotation. So we leave it blank. So it should support multi-purpose. Check division. Again, this is a mandatory field. This is a mandatory field. Here we got three options: no dialogue, dialogue, error. As yesterday I was explaining you all, if what do you say? The customer who is been for quotation for a product, if he is not looking out for that product to buy, if he is looking out for some other product to buy, how system should react, how system should respond. That is the concept of check division. So division changes. If you all remember, yesterday I was given an example of hospital. Customer been for a dental checkup, but he is asking at the appointment execution time for an orthopedician appointment, how system should react. No dialogue means yes, please come down, I can arrange. Dialogue means yes, please wait, I'll check with the doctor whether he's available. Error means no, again he should take a fresh appointment and come back. But in case of Zara, you've been to buy a trouser, but you're placing an order for a jacket. System should permit or not? Definitely yes. So understand the logic over here. Understand the logic here. So no dialogue maintaining. The sale should happen. What you're buying is secondary. Probability. What is the probability of a quotation converting to an order? Think, for example, when you are buying a product, or when you've been to a showroom to buy some product. Say, for example, yeah, tell me anything to ask. Okay, thank you.
Screen is locked. Sir,
Sorry,
screen is locked.
sorry.
Screen got struck.
Okay. No, no, I'm not doing an activity. Can you see the mouse moving?
No, sir, no.
Others, can you see my mouse moving here? I'm moving screen up and down. All right. Okay. Others can see. Kiran, you just log out and log in or move to some place where you have a good connection.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Don't worry. And anyway, I'll be sending the recording in that everything will be clear. All right. Now here probability I say. Default it is 70% telling. But see, when you're been to a showroom and you ask for a product quotation and showroom person gives you a quotation, what is the probability you will place an order? Depending upon the product market position and the demand of it, right? So for example, now a patient going to a hospital, what is the probability of he getting the treatment? 100%, because the heart patient cannot shop, there will be no more for shopping. But a person who want to buy a jacket, he may go to Zara, he may go to some other store, some other brand, Diesel, he may go to Guess, right? He may go to Burberry, he may go to multiple brands. So probability will be told by the client. Whomsoever comes to his outlet, it is, I say here, 50% probability he may turn up placing an order. Okay, that's the logic. Right? So I given 50 here. This will be told by the client. You are, I do not need to bother what to be given here. Here, it is just for your understanding. I'm explaining with the scenario. Done? So this is also a mandatory field. This is also a mandatory field under general control. And this is an optional field under general control. And here one more optional field we have, and two more mandatory fields we have. These two are mandatory. So under number system, what I have written under general control, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are mandatory, 2 are optional, others are not applicable. Okay, done. Now material entity type, a material identification with material number, as I was explaining even yesterday. Check division, the product line identity should be marked, then only it will read for what product it is happening. Read info record, yes, the customer's buying behavior, the customer's buying behavior here. All right, so understand the logic over here, please. Okay, so just give a minute, please. Okay, so read info record, as I said, it's an optional field. By maintaining it, you will understand how the buying behavior will be responding during the sales transaction. So I kept it as marked, but normally in some of the servers it will be not kept as marked. But when you're practicing in your copy what you're making, make it as marked so you understand how it reacts and responds in the front end. Okay, done. Now moving forward, output application, yes, since it is a sales document, we mark as V1 as said yesterday. All sales documents is marked as V1, that is output of sales transaction. Now the screen layout relevant to quotation is again AG. For inquiry and quotation, the same screen layout, leave it as AG only. And transaction group, since it is quotation, it is marked as 2. Since it is quotation, it is marked as 2 here. So and document pricing procedure, for time being, let it be as A. In the coming sessions, we'll customize our own pricing controls and we'll replace this A by our made one. All right, so please understand this logic, everybody. Now apart from these, under transaction flow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are mandatory. And optional, we have quotation message. This is optional. Quotation message is optional. And incompletion procedure, it comes internally. We will not be giving. It comes automatically connected from the inventory. You can see it is in gray mode. That means it initiated from some other layout. It gets connected here automatically. So it comes default according to the document domain and identification. So screen layout shows the screen which combination of fields which got to presented. Transaction group tells you transaction belong to which stage. Document pricing procedure tell what is the price applicable. And display range, all complete layout presentation. Function code for over screen. As I explained, press enter to item screen, UER2. Press enter to general screen, UER1. For some documents, I'll mark UER1. For some documents, I'll mark UER2. So that you understand how it reacts in the front end. Right. Now, quotation message. If I put A here, check at header level. It read by your name. It will read by your name. So how many times you have been, it's not required. For what you have been, that is main point. So always preferred is check at item level. Right? Why check at item level? Because how many times you have been, that is not the point. For what products you have been, that is the point. All right. So how many times you have been, that is not the point, but for what product you have been, that is the point. Please understand this. Okay. So understand the logic and get the clarity. So I mark here, check at item level. So that system understands, okay, you are being for what products and accordingly how. Okay. So do understand the logic and do get the clarity about how it works. So I mark here B so you understand how it reacts in the front end. So apart from these, if you come down under billing, you have one more optional field here called proforma invoice. So what is the point of this? See, for example, think when you've been for a shopping, not for shopping, okay, let me give you a simple example. Now think you purchase some product which is other country based online, for example. Say you've been to websites of some and you place an order. Company is located in USA and you are buying from India. So you pay from India and the order is accepted. Oh, I'm sorry. Just a minute. I'm given a wrong example. I'm sorry. Let me give you a current example. I'll give you a simple example. Think in our parliament, assembly sessions when going on. You hear frequently a word called bill is not passed, bill is not passed. What does it mean? The contractor is being given a pro forma invoice to the government. It is not quotation, it is on the top of quotation. Pro forma invoice is something like a confirmed invoice amount. Quotation is just a proposal. Pro forma invoice is a confirmed invoice amount. If the order is being placed, that amount is applicable for a fair invoice to be created. So, in which condition the pro forma invoice is given? When you see price fluctuation, when you see an authorizations for a security purpose, pro forma invoice. So, pro forma invoice acts as a dummy invoice, which is applicable more in export-based companies or public sector-based deals. So, how it is applicable in corporate, you may think. So, for example, a customer is placing an order from USA, and the product need to send from India. So the USA company, that is seller, will send a pro forma invoice to the receiving company India, so that they will get a custom clearance for landing permission. And then the fair order will be given and the fair bill will be issued. So finally the fair bill amount, the pro forma invoice amount will be the same. So with reference to the quotation, do invoice happen? Answer is yes. Is it claimable? Definitely not. So pro forma invoice acts as a dummy invoice. It cannot be claimed. Pro forma invoice acts as a dummy invoice, cannot be claimed since it has a posting block. It's a quotation related. The product cannot be delivered since it is just a quotation, not confirmed order. So with reference to quotation, do the billing happen? Answer is yes. What is it? It is pro forma invoice. Other than this, none of the fields are applicable. So what fields makes identity of quotation? You all understood. What fields makes identity of inquiry? You understood yesterday. Right? So learning very clearly is very important. I can do two documents in a day. I can do inquiry and quotation yesterday itself, but why I'm done today one, yesterday one? Because you need to understand. You need to get a brief time to follow. That is the reason I'm working. So go through the recording and understand. Take a sheet, write down the fields which makes identity of quotation, write down the purpose of quotation. Like how I was guiding yesterday, the same pattern you do for quotation today. Now next is order, rush order, cash sales. These three belongs to one domain. All the three are order types only. All the three are sales order types only, but slight difference in execution. So, for example, think you're standing in a line. There is one more line. There is one more line. Three lines to one counter. One is general, that is general order. You place an order and he say by when you get the delivery because it is general. Cash sales, it is something like you're making the payment on the counter, he's giving the product on the counter. Rush order, you're not making the payment like cash sales, but you get the delivery immediately, but as per the standard order format. Saying this is good, saying this is understood, but there is some field difference, right? By organizing what fields it become an order, by organizing what fields it become a rush order, by organizing what fields it become a cash sales. This is what you need to understand. So I'm going to write a statement on the board first. Just a minute, everybody. Give me a minute. Yeah. So now I'm writing a statement. First, follow the statement. Following this statement, I'm going to explain the fields, how they are applicable to what. Okay. So please understand. Here fields. If OR, if RO, if CS. Three documents. So field number one, check credit limit. Check credit limit here. So check credit limit is a mandatory field during order, during rush order, but not applicable during cash sales. Because when the customer is making the payment, why do I need to check? the credit fees. It is cash and carry. But during the order, it should be, because he's placing an order. Order is acceptable if the customer got some credit limit. Then check credit group during the order, during the rush order, but not applicable during cash sales. The same purpose. Now read info record. This is an optional field, optional field, optional field among all. That is customer buying behavior. Then you have immediately delivery field. So this is not applicable for order, but applicable for rush order and cash sales. Because when the customer is making the payment on the counter, he gets the delivery immediately. That is immediate delivery. Though the customer is not paying, but he will get the delivery immediately because it is rush order. But here it is not applicable because of other orders in pipeline. As per the general order schedule, he will get the delivery. And now lead time in days. Lead time in days. Here applicable during rush order, but not applicable for rush order and cash sales. Is only applicable for general order. Because the time, how much required to get the product delivered to the customer, lead time in days. And one more field we have, date type, not applicable for rush order, but applicable for rush order and cash sales. Because by when, what, same day or next day, or so if you all notice here, there is one common point. General order credit limit features are applicable for rush order. Cash sales, immediate delivery, and same day delivery features are applicable for rush order. So rush order play a middleman role. Security wise, like order features, instant delivery like a cash sales feature. So these fields are applicable, not applicable, which makes the primary identification of a document type. But in this field, how many options are there? Which option is usable for what purpose? Understand the point and get clarity on the flow. Okay. Done. So follow this chart and understand. Monday I'm going to explain 3 document types with this layout clarity, with other fields how they are applicable to execute. All right. So do understand and do work on the process and do get clarity on the process. So thank you all and see you on Monday, everybody.